All right, so welcome once again to the podcast presented by Trynyty. As usual, my name is Cody LaCroix, one of the co-founders of Trynyty, and this week we're actually going to mix things up. We did not have time to make it in studio, but being already our 10th episode, we decided to take a look back at some of the best moments. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
How many times have you been in Montreal now?
I think it's close to like 15 or something. Like I've come quite often.
You've been quite a few times.
Like,
you need to get down here more often, my man.
That's ridiculous. It's kind of far though. It's kind of far. But I'm definitely coming back after this. Me and Kirk. We're making it annual. I swear.
I'm down, man. I'm glad you made it down. I'm glad you're having fun.
Dude, you let me stay at your house, so it's like the best scenario I could have asked for.
There's no stress, dude.
Free vacancy. Shout out to Cody.
Free vacancy.
I couldn't repay him enough, honestly.
I'm just glad you made it out, dude. The jam was one heck of a time. If you guys had to pick like one best moment, one best thing about the jam, what would that have been?
Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Yeah, go.
Jacob Piercy winning.
Wow.
That was pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't cry, but I definitely.
Dude, I cried.
I know you did. I'm not trying to flex that I didn't cry, but man, it was pretty cool because it's not your normal scooter contest where the goal is like, all right, we're gonna do this run. It's gonna be 45 seconds. I have to do all of these tricks with as many flips as possible.
It was more like street jam type beat.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like we had a permit, so everyone was
Facts. The
party.
permit was good.
Yeah, it was
permit
good.
was proper.
Shout out to the permit.
Cheers to that.
It was dope. Yeah, it was cool to see. Like we had the guys from France, we had Lachlan from Calgary, all the boys from Ontario, the locals from Montreal throwing down. It's quite an experience, and I think my throat is still sore from screaming like a little girl at the end there.
Bro, it was fun. I'll tell you that.
What about you, Lachlan? What was your favorite part?
Favorite part's just seeing everyone. It's like a big old family reunion to see everyone in a big old group.
Yeah.
Just hanging out, familiar faces, everyone saying what's up, and then it becomes like a party, like for the whole week.
It literally does become a party for the whole weekend. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta agree, dude. It's crazy because here in Montreal, I mean, there's a lot of dudes who ride, but often we wind up going to the park and we're like 3 or 4, and that's a big gang.
Mm-hmm.
And
it seems like everyone's coming out to ride.
Yeah.
Whenever we go, whenever
cool.
it's like during the jam, like whenever we go to a park, there's like 10 to 15 like scooter kids.
Well, I know it might not seem like too big a deal to you guys, but like for a lot of the dudes around here, when they hear like Lachlan and Ethan are here and they're riding, it motivates them that much more to
Which
like,
is
oh
super
man.
weird for me to because whenever we're at the park, I'm always like, yo, there's so many lokes out. What do you guys mean no one rides? And then I don't know, they're always like apparently like stoked to come ride, chill with us. So it kind of works out. I think it's weird though, because when they always talk about how there's like no one's riding, and then when like a jam comes around, everyone's like out and they're motivated. So it helps out.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Everyone gets
I think
stoked.
it's the same everywhere though, because like if someone
you're not
comes to
wrong.
like Toronto or Ontario, like
Facts.
everyone's trying to
Yeah.
get out for the most part. Like most of the time I have to tour guide, or someone in our group will have to tour guide, but that just brings everyone out. Like everyone's like, yeah, okay, I'm booking off work. Let's go downtown.
Let's go downtown. Yeah.
So and so's here.
Fact.
But I mean,
Calling in sick.
I love it. It was awesome to see it. Like so the jam was Saturday night, and then Sunday after the hangover passed, or mostly passed. we're still dealing with that right now. But so once most of that was gone, we headed to one of the parks that they put in last year, Rosemont or Parc Marquette, and it was cool because usually, like I say, we're like 4 or 5 max, but that day we were like 15 riders maybe.
Oh, buddy, everyone was there.
Everyone was there, so it was
Dude
sweet
at
to
the
have
park.
shout out to the skaters who dipped, but. I mean, we were 15 and we were holding strong, and it's awesome to see like that level of riding across that many people in the same place, because hopefully it's going to happen more and more. Like a couple of the dudes I work with over at Taz Skate Park, it's the biggest indoor skate park in Canada. They're saying like, man, all the skaters are talking about how many more scooter riders there are now, but they're actually shredding more and more. And
Yeah, everyone is like getting older and they're starting to like, I don't know, mature and do like cooler shit. So,
slowly.
Yeah, slowly but surely. So
Yeah,
which is always sick to see like more older guys in the scene.
Yeah, I definitely think it helps. And like what's cool, like you're saying, like when you have events and jams and stuff like that, it brings everybody out. So I think it's like super important to try to keep stuff like that going, because it's motivational things like that.
Yeah.
Like if there's one Trynyty jam every year, that gives everybody at least one thing to look forward to every year. That's one excuse to go ride your scooter every day, because like at some point I'm going to go to that jam. So I think it's super important to try to keep those things going.
And then it gets everyone to just throw down at the same time, Everyone's trying shit they like would not think of doing any other day, but then when they're around so many people, like
man, the level of riding
it.
at the jam this year was
stupid.
unbelievable.
Like the first two, amazing. and like we would try to put it into words, and like I don't think everyone understood how crazy they are. Like I think this year is the year that like people are gonna be like, whoa, what the fuck was the Trynyty Jam, dude? Like,
Yeah, facts. I hope
like
more
the
people
amount
come
of
in next year. too.
bangers that went down that day. Like,
Oh, it was
dude,
silly.
I hope word of mouth spreads, because like
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
this could be like the annual contest where like it's like a family reunion type deal.
Bro,
Yeah,
it could
it
probably
definitely is.
become big. It's
The
like
winter street jam, pretty much.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Honestly,
it's in Montreal. It's like the biggest indoor park I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. The word gets out this jam. More people come next one. It just grows to like this crazy. I can see it growing to like a giant annual scooter thing.
I
where
mean, that's
people are flying
definitely-
from everywhere.
This is definitely the goal. When me and Lloyd started Trynyty, like a bunch of the things we were like wanting to do is like innovation. Like there's 3 Y's in Trynyty. It's like innovation, sustainability of the sport, and giving back to the community as well. And I think events like this, the goal was to like take the bar and then raise it, but also kind of bring everybody together. So like the culmination of how high the level got this year, plus seeing the homie Jake win. It was a lot to take in. It was a lot to handle, but it was really cool.
dude, going back to that, I went up to Jake after the comp. I was like, we always say we're washed up, but look who just took first place. Like, dude, that was like the icing on the cake for the whole weekend. And
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been happy if anyone won, but just because it's Jake and that's my brother. Like,
And to be
that's the
fair, there
sick-
was
he threw
about
down.
there was about 9 dudes, and we picked top 5. For anyone who doesn't know, we picked top 5, and they won cash. And there's also best trick. But we had 9 names on the list that we had to narrow it down to, and it was
It would be too tricky.
it was really hard. And I
Too many
think
people.
moving forward, we might try to narrow down the list of invited riders, because
Yeah.
generally it's about 25.
Right.
But then this year, when everyone all of a sudden wanted to come, like you were coming down, so it's 3 on the list. And then Auguste and Nick Tedrick from Ethic, they're coming from San Diego and
Mhm.
France, super last minute, couldn't say no. So obviously, through the
Exactly.
name, and the next thing you know, I've allowed
Like
like
a
almost 10
giant
more
list,
people by
yeah.
accident, not by accident, but we wound up with a few more people than we were supposed to. So we had Marcus and Kevin and Lloyd judging, and they had a rough go with it, because there was so
Yeah.
much going on at once.
Imagine saying no to August.
That's what I mean.
Dude, I
what
can't
I
wait
mean.
till the video comes out. I don't know if it'll be out before or after this goes up, but like, man, people will know what we're talking about once that video comes
Exactly.
out. This dude
When you
is
see the riding.
insane.
Yeah, it's
Bro,
gonna be
August will
hammers.
do everything you want to do first try, and then not sweat about it, which is kind of it's annoying. But shout out to August for being able to do everything first try.
he was the king of street at the Nitro World Games this
Yeah,
year.
exactly. You can't complain.
He destroyed it. Man, at one point he did a rail ride on this it's like, you could say it's a rail, but it's not really like meant to be a feature in the park.
It's
It's there
not
to
a
stop.
feature.
It's there to stop
there to
people.
save- barrier.
It's
a
there
barrier.
to save
It's a
you
barrier.
from falling off the edge, right?
Because the edge is death, and
The
not
edge
only
is
is it
death
on the
by
edge,
itself.
it's like a couple feet
It's
higher, right?
Yeah, it's a story drop on one side, and this dude hops up tires. Sorry to spoil it for everyone. My jaw was on the floor.
yeah,
Like,
no, it's
the craziest
jaw was on
trick
the
I've
floor the
seen.
whole
I don't
time.
know.
It was
Yeah.
maybe the only like 5 seconds of the entire jam that I wasn't saying anything, because I was just holding my breath, like, don't you fall off the
You're
side of
right,
that
dude,
thing, dude. Don't
everyone's
you
like-
fall off the side of that thing.
Like, like waiting for him to just land. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Oh, man, there's
when
a
I got
few
to the
moments that are
park, I would
sketch.
it was one of those things where you look at it and I'm like, yo, Ethan, could you imagine if someone jumped on this and rode it? And he's like, dude.
Nah, dude.
I'm saying triple whip on,
Yeah, no, it's like one of those things you joke about.
540 to flat.
Yeah, next thing you know, his homie's hopping on it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Good for him. Also, shout outs to his video. That thing was crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
anyone who hasn't seen August Ethic DTC video, definitely go watch it. That man is an absolute killer.
There's rails that you wouldn't really think of, like, ever.
Yeah,
Touching.
man. I made the joke at World Games. If you brought him to an amusement park, he'd probably try to grind the roller coaster. And
Yeah,
I
facts,
genuinely believe
facts.
that. Like, loop and all that, man would just straight send it.
I can see it.
No wax either.
No wax in it. No wax.
Man
straight
doesn't
send.
like wax. Man doesn't like wax.
Wobble through it, then he just cleanly landed first tee.
Yeah.
Man.
That could be
man.
the key. That could be the key.
Just straight send.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've done the rounds pretty much for the jam, and hopefully I would think that this podcast will probably come out after the jam video has been posted. And you guys are working on a video right now, and it's just you two in the video? There's
Grunge MTL plus Montreal friends.
I thought we were calling it the Red Bull Ambassador Program.
And there's names in the work.
It's
There's
a
names in the
working
work.
title. It's a working title.
But
But
Grunge MTL will do for,
Yeah.
us. We both know what we mean. It's grungy out here. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, in the video, it's mainly us two, I'd say.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some Montreal homies in there as well. how can we not put them in? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
they've all been coming out to ride with us, so
Tour guides.
yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
tour guides. Even though me and Lachlan sometimes know the city better
Yeah,
than
no,
them.
that's what I'm saying. We'll go downtown and we're like, yo, the spot's over here. They're like, there's one up here, and no, I swear,
It's
right
over. It's
here.
over here. We were here yesterday, boys.
No, but yeah,
Yeah.
It should be
Shout
me and
out.
Lachlan, and then a few Montreal homies. I think I don't want to give any names right now because I don't know who's gonna
Still
get
not
clips
done.
before we leave.
Still not
but
done.
In the
so,
works, yeah.
you know, we got Mick Beer in there.
Shout out to Mike.
We got,
That's Michael Roussel for anyone who doesn't
yeah.
know, but we all call him Mike Beer. Shout out
Mhm.
to the homie. He
Hopefully-
probably won't listen to this
Michael Russell.
podcast actually because his English is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Not A1,
He'll get like 5 minutes in and be like, I don't know what they're talking about.
We'll send him the clip. We'll
You
send
know,
him the
Google
clip.
Translate open and just give up after 20 seconds.
And that was a dope spot, but that was a before last spot, right?
Yeah, and like so I was talking to Garrett, said, "I do next spot is gonna be Buck." I was like, "All right,
Man.
what is it?"
Yep.
It's a 17
17
centimeter
stair.
stair set. I was
But-
like, "Oh."
But before we move on, because this was the before last spot, and it's at this point that one of Garrett's homies looks at me, he's like, "Yo, should we announce on the mic to people that cars at Lynch are being towed?" And I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah. So usually they never tow cars, but like a ton of cars at Lynch are getting towed." I said, "Well, my car's at Lynch."
So we were just like, "Ooh."
And then I went to see Andrew. Like, yo, apparently they're towing cars at Lynch. He's like, nah, man, it'll be chill. Like I said, as long as we're behind the corner, we'll be good. So now for the entire rest of the jam in the back of my head, I'm like, man, if my car
If
gets
my
towed,
car gets
that's gonna be
towed,
a
we're so fucked. We're
fat
so
fine,
fucked.
a fat fine. We have to go back tomorrow because we both work Monday. Like, hopefully my car didn't get towed. So we finish at this. It's like a technical school or a college or whatever. It was dope.
Yeah.
And we're going to the last spot, and everyone knows it's the last spot. And I keep hearing rumors of the 17 stair. We pull up, and it's just like almost like the outside of a mall. And it's not an ideal run up, not an ideal landing.
Dude, there was like that little bump before the stairs.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah.
freaked me out. I was down to hit him like, all right, dude, I don't have any insurances. If I get fucked up, I am really fucked up.
I also, your scooter, you break more parts than anybody I know, and you hadn't broken one in a while, so you were due to break a part. So I was like, man, if you don't want to jump this, I don't even know if I trust your fork, your clamp, I don't know what, but
Dude,
something
my
might.
scooter's right on my left. I'm scared right now.
Man, I was like, I don't want you to get hurt because your scooter breaks, and 17 stairs like this, man, is like,
You can get hurt.
you probably
pretty
would be
bad.
okay, but you would get pretty bucked. So everyone's there. It's a good 10, 15 minutes. Nobody's, maybe not 10, but like 5 minutes. Nobody's jumped it. Austin's eyeing it up. And boom, this kid comes in hot. He's 16 years old, just been flown in for a jam. Just got on Aztec not that long ago.
Oh, dude.
And he sent a 17 stairs. Boom, throws the whip.
I think he,
catches it, throws the bar. Full commit. First tee, slams.
Oh, dude, like I think he tried it like 3 times.
Three times he tried it. So
Yeah, he
gets
tried it
up,
like 3 times.
tries it again. Every single time he threw the whip, caught it, threw the bars, landed a bit off. And let
Like
me tell you
what's
this
scary? Like
too.
one moment, like I think it was like the last try he actually tried it. He fucking landed on the stairs, dude. He clipped the stairs.
Yeah, this was before last try. He clipped the last stair. Yeah,
Dude, that was crazy.
it was wild. And here's the thing. I was telling this to Scott because Scott's like closer to my age, like 25, 26. I was like, man, when you're 16 like that and you fall, you just kind of bounce off the ground. I swear to God. And I don't know at what point it changed. Maybe when I was in my mid 20s. Now I don't bounce. Now I splat when I fall, dude.
You make one with the gravity fucks you up.
Dude, so I'm watching this kid like huck his meat. Like it's unbelievable. And just bouncing off the ground, gets up and keeps going. I'm like, man, I miss when I could do that, dude. Because now when I fall like that, it's splat, end of session, out for a month at least. And he tried it 3 times. And sure enough, dude, I think between one of his tries, Tutty too gets in on the action.
Yo, oh dude, but that
And
was like
Tutty's-
the
Tutty's-
funniest thing.
Tutty's a tall dude too.
But I really wanted to like be, hey, dude, I want to try something on it. But like just Tutty said, I just looked at Tutty go on it. He just tried a bar spin. Just like one bar
Dude,
spin.
he did a good bar spin, caught it, landed it, and basically just the impact was like,
And dude,
boom.
dude, the video of that clip just went like the world star. Dude, he went like to many places.
Yeah.
Dude, because like a fun thing, there was like a Asian lady with like her kid.
At this point, too, we should mention we're at like the mall. There's
Dude,
like a big
yeah, there's a
gallery.
lot of
There's, like, a
people
big gallery.
watching.
There's a ton of people who weren't
There's,
in the
like-
jam just watching. Like, what the hell is going on?
And dude, there's like some street rats and shit.
And among these people, like you're saying, is this little family of Asians with their young kid. He's probably like 5, maybe
And like
6.
the mom is just like behind, and like there's a little kid forward, but he's just like in the front row where
Yeah.
everybody's watching, and you just don't want to get a little further because you're gonna get like hurt basically.
Mhm.
So like Tutty's trying a bar spin, and like apparently the impact is way too intense, so he just like
It's
slipped
huge, man,
backward,
yep.
and the scooter starts flying, and like one of Garrett's friend, which I kind of became the hero of the day, and kind of
Man,
saved
and
the
this
kid.
guy doesn't even scooter anymore. He had just pulled up because I guess he was with Garrett or whatever. And like you say, if you haven't seen the video, I could try to link that in the bio too. But you see Tutty do the bar, lands, scooter explodes from under him, flies directly for this kid. And had it hit him, it would have done some damage.
Oh, dude,
and
he
his
would
homie
have
just
got the kid a big concussion or something.
reaches
like that.
out, bang, catches it by the deck, maybe a couple inches before the
Oh,
kid's
dude,
face.
it was
just
like-
bang. It
like
was such a
this
clutch catch.
close,
It
like-
was so close, dude.
And just at a certain moment, like the mom just did. I was like, "Hey, say thank you. The guy saved your kid.
The guy
bro."
saved your kid's life. It's, you know, you
Like,
saw
your
you
kid
saw
would've been,
people were
like,
jumping
damaged
down.
forever.
Yeah, no, he would have gotten smoked and just smacked the mic. That's
He
what would
just
have
got
happened to the kid's
smoked.
face, dude. It was not pretty. So Tutty tries, and at this point, there's only Austin and Tutty who've tried to jump this.
And
crazy
then
set.
there's like Austin just like going for the whip bar, and everybody he just sticks it, and everybody's like, "Holy shit!"
It was hilarious too because he lands it, and then Garrett jumps on the mic. He's like, "Anybody else gonna jump this?" No, didn't think so. Okay, so he ends up,
Apparently,
like,
Garrett just went to the top after he just looked at it. He's like, "Am I gonna risk my whole
he was eyeing
life?"
it up, maybe heel, double heel, whatever, because that's his shit, and his double heels are beautiful.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
But ultimately, he was like, "Nah, I'm not about it.
I'm not about
not
it.
about it." So he ends up last minute, kind of being like, "Well, Austin just did that," and he had thrown down at a few other spots. So Austin wins, and then Jake in second, and Justin in third.
Because like Jake shredded the whole day.
Definitely think that the rankings were pretty good. I think if there was honorable mentions, that Riley, like we said, I was a bit surprised Riley didn't.
I would
end
go
up in
Riley
third.
first place next year.
Maybe not. Well, it depends at what the last spot is, you know.
Dude,
but
have you seen this
Riley
guy's
was
license
really,
clip?
really good. Yeah, I did actually.
Oh, dude, fuck.
So yeah, shout out to Riley because I thought like, yeah, there was a top three, but like he actually stood out to me a lot because I'd never even heard of him. And Dave Ferguson too. He didn't throw down at every single spot, but as soon as I saw that backflip heel the way he did, I was like, wow, that just blew my mind. So there's like a bunch of other people too. Even Jason Cheedy did not know he was that good until I'd seen him right in person.
No, but Jason Cheedy, like when he's not hurt,
When he's not hurt, he's a monster.
something absolutely amazing to watch. I believe.
So the jam wraps up.
We're
We
going back to
whip back
Lynch.
to Lynch, and the whole time I'm like,
Oh,
man,
dude,
if
something
my
that
car is
actually
towed.
bummed me up, like when we're going back to Lynch, is just like kids, like their attitude.
I actually
like,
did want to touch on this too. So I think it's part to do with like the mob mentality. So like we said, we were like at this point less because
Exactly.
a lot of people left after the third, fourth, fifth spots because their rides or whatever.
Yeah.
But all the real cores were still there. Like we're still 150 strong probably at this point. And a lot of cars are honking, and it's natural to honk because obviously you're not stoked that you're waiting for a bunch of kids to zoom by on scooters to be done. But all of a sudden, you got these young kids, and even some of the older dudes too. Not gonna name names again, but they're yelling shit like, "Oh, suck a dick! Oh, fuck you!" This and that. And it's like,
come on, bro.
you know, we're ruining their day right now. Like
we are
they're
messing up people's
they're-
life.
they're gonna
just be
honk,
respectful about what you're doing.
it's like if they weren't in their car and you weren't on a scooter surrounded by 150 other scooter riders, do you think you'd really say that to their face?
No, you would
Probably not. No.
they're- like,
so it definitely bums me out when these young
some
kids are
fucking
going,
12
"Suck a
years old
dick."
kids like just when like just look at a lady just trying to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
through, he's just like suck my dick. I'm like, dude, you're 12.
Dude,
like,
don't say that.
do you want
man.
me to
It's
call your
so
mom? Come on,
stupid.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
get some respect.
So that kind of bummed me out. But besides that, all in all, it was an amazing jam.
But it was amazing, jam.
Unfortunately, we pull up to Lynch. My car's gone.
Oh, dude, they were just
Austin's car is gone.
I just see you just like rolling up to where we were parked before, and I just see your scooter flying. You're just like, fuck.
I was pretty cheesed because I knew it was gonna be a fat fine. And Austin, our host, who always rides at Lynch, his car got towed too,
Dude,
along with
Andrew was in hype.
about 12 other cars.
Yeah,
Yeah. Andrew. Did I say Austin? Yeah, Andrew. Andrew's car got towed too. Obviously, he's a local, so he usually knows, but it just didn't work.
It was actually, you just to do this the first time that it ever happens.
So luckily, I keep saying Austin, Andrew ends up going to get his car a bit before us. And then we check, and it's like a 30-40 minute scooter ride to go get my car.
And we're just like, oh, dude, I'm not down.
I think, like I said, we did something like 26 miles if you calculate all the spots that we had pushed from.
Which
So
is
we're
around
dead
like
at this point.
48 kilometers
It's
or something.
far.
It's
So-
far.
shout out to my man Manny Panny.
Dude,
Manny
is
is
crazy.
the homie. Manny saved the day. If it weren't for Manny, we were screwed. Shout out again, my man Manny. I think it's Manny
we hooked
Panny
him
on
up, bro,
Instagram.
but he deserved
Oh, yeah.
way much more
Oh
than
man,
this.
I ended up giving him a bunch of Trynyty stuff, and I wish I had more because he ended up. Andrew gives him his car to take us to go get my car, which has been towed. And had he not done this, we probably would have missed the Speak premiere, which is the last thing we'll touch on because we're a bit tight for time. But if it wasn't for Manny borrowing Andrew's car, which had been towed, to go get my car, which apparently had been towed elsewhere because they towed so many cars, where Andrew's car got towed, there was no more room. So they brought me
apparently,
elsewhere.
Andrew just said, dude, it's not going to cost any money. Like, apparently, because it was a police spot.
So Andrew got lucky because at the towing yard, like I said, it was pretty full because they towed like 12, 13 cars or something like that this day, which apparently doesn't happen much. So Andrew's car, by chance, was parked in a spot reserved for police who have got like a temporary hold on a car. So when he rocked up, they're like, oh, that's your car? Yeah, you're good. Andrew didn't have to pay. He was lucky. We did have to pay a U.S. fine, converted to Canadian. It was pretty expensive. We did
I'm
not.
glad you got my money, Cody.
Man, I'm glad you. Well, we split it, which is
We split
super
it.
dope. But I mean, I threw it
Dude,
all.
that
on
was
the-
actually so expensive.
It
stupid
it
shit.
added up pretty quick, and it's definitely an expense we did not expect. But all in all, the experience, the fact that like since Andrew housed us, we didn't have to get an Airbnb or a hotel. It's like it
I guess
worked
it's
out
worth the
well.
price.
Exactly.
So I talked to Andrew on the Monday, which was day 6, and he met up with us at 5 p.m. We went to the warehouse and got everybody in the van, and we went right to his favorite hill bomb, and that's where
Great way
we
to start a session.
Yep, that's where we started. So it's like, you guys did any hill bombs while you were there? And I was like, well, no, but I think it would make a really cool clip. So it wasn't Hollywood, but, fairly close. I was driving the caravan, and Martin was on the passenger seat window, sitting on
head
the
outside,
edge,
right? Yeah.
head outside with holding the handle inside with one hand and filming all of that as we were hill bombing. I was probably a couple meters behind them, just trying to keep up the speed but not getting too close.
just in case. Yeah.
But you see, there's a few clips that are just so beautiful. There's like the full 4 riders and Andrew in front,
Oh,
and
man,
they're
that's
just
so
like
sick.
in the intro. So that was just like so symbolic, kind of like giving back to the next generation. So that was awesome. Kicked off the session really nice. Got some fantastic footage.
And the boys got to ride with Andrew. That's pretty cool,
Yeah, exactly.
The godfather of Scootering, man. That's pretty.
No, we owe
Pretty
a lot to Andrew, and he was telling me a bit about his story, but the dedication that he's shown in developing Proto and Scooter Resource and PG.
we will definitely have Andrew on the podcast, either in studio or electronically somehow. We will definitely make that happen.
Oh, for sure. He's got he's always had very specific vision about scootering and where it should go, and I do happen to agree on a lot of the points he's bringing up. So
Right.
I think if we can use this opportunity to share a bit in more detail what we talk about, what we think would be a good thing for our sport.
Yep.
I think it'd be a nice opportunity. But yeah, to continue on, that night we started hitting up all the spots in a row that Andrew was recommending.
Right.
And it was like the scooter gods were with us. Like, we would show up to a spot and he's like, yeah, this one's a quick kick out. But 20 minutes later,
Still going.
we're still going.
Yep.
Like, he's like, yeah, this never happens. So cool. We got the clip. Then we go to the next spot and he's like, guys, like, there's this ditch, not a ditch, but it's a sewer gap.
Oh, yeah.
But every time he's been there before, there's a massive truck right on the landing. And that night,
No truck.
guess what? No truck.
Yep.
And he's like, guys, like, this is not normal at all. Like, there's something going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, Thibault got a sick clip on that thing, and we kept going, and it gets funny because we got to a mani pad, and Angel's doing a combo on it, and we're filming, and we hear we see this Mercedes truck pull up, blaring music, and this dude just pulls up at the stop sign, and he just stops, but he stays there. And we just stop because we think he wants to go by, but he's stopping. He's like, "Oh no, it's all cool. I'm here to watch, man." Like, just blast the music. Let's go, dudes! Like, hell yeah! So we keep riding, and he's still there hanging out. So He says, "Hey guys, let me go park the car. I'll pull around and come hang out." So it's this Mexican guy living in Vista and doing construction. We heard a bit about what he does, whether that's fully accurate or not. I don't know. He seemed to be a little bit wired. If I could put it that way.
It's a good word.
Noel the homeboy, shout out.
Yep.
He's in the intro of our video of the Am Team video.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah, he just he gets out of his car and comes over. He's like, "Hey, can I try that?" He's like, and Gigi's like handing him his scoot, and Angel's trying this trick, but this guy gets on the scooter full speed. And there's like 3 stairs to jump to go in manual. Just full speed, pops, not high enough, clips the front wheel, slams into the wall in front. It's like, hell yeah, dude. Like, that was sick. And then he goes in and he tries it like 3 times.
Just slams
the whole time. And I'm like, what the hell is going on in this guy's head? So then he goes back to his car, and we realize like he has a 40 in between the seats,
just chilling,
just drinking. And Andrew in his car, and Andrew's like, yeah, that's a homeboy. We call him,
a homeboy, a good old homeboy,
little Vista homeboy right here. So yeah, but he was really nice actually.
Yep.
And then he's like, all right, dudes, just wait a second. I got something for you. So he goes to his truck, comes back with a freaking dab rig.
Oh no.
And like a torch. He's like, you guys want to get high? And like, I just kind of looked at the dudes like, dudes, just don't take anything that this guy gives you. Like, straight up. I'm not your dad, but just be careful. So he ended up doing all of his own stuff. And we're going to the next spot, so obviously he just gets back in his car,
follows you,
and follows us,
no way.
Blasting Nipsey Hussle, and just chilling. And then he followed us for all the rest of the spots.
No way.
And around 10 p.m., he's like looking at his watch anxiously. He's like, "All right, guys, I think I gotta go. My curfew's coming up, and I got DUI 2 weeks ago, so can't be fucking with the cops, So like all good, Noel. You have a good time.
Yeah.
You have a good one.
Oh, man.
So that was really entertaining. I think Andrew had a lot of fun that night too. It was hilarious. And we got really productive clips that day.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So yeah, that was good. But actually, yeah. So then the next day, so that's day 7. So that day went pretty well.
Yep.
Day 7, we were like, okay, so we're at 2 mandatories right now. We have 3 more to do.
Well, isn't it? I thought so. There's 5 spots, but only 4 you have to do.
You have to hit 4.
4 of the 5
we wanted
mandatory
to go
spots.
to all of them.
Right, to give yourself the best chance to get 4, the 4 best clips on the mandatory spots. Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So then we that day we decide like El Toro. This is the El Toro day.
Yep.
So we go, we pull up there, and seeing it in person, like the videos don't
do it justice.
Don't do it justice at all. You've been, right? Have you been?
I've not
No.
been actually, no, but I know all the stories and like of all the people that I know who've either jumped onto that rail and ditched or like have planned stuff and then it didn't end up working out. It's pretty crazy. And one thing that like is hard to see is the landing is actually not perfectly flat. It's inclined up ever so slightly, but when you're jumping down 20 freaking stairs.
That makes a difference.
Incline isn't going to help, So when we found out that someone had potentially flipped down it, my first question was, well, I hope they backflipped it because if you front flipped into that, that angle, I figured it would just double wrist snap or some shit. So
Yeah.
obviously it ended up being not a front flip, which thank goodness. But
Yeah, if you're gonna put all of your body's weight on 2 limbs, it's probably gonna be your legs that you're gonna.
yeah,
wanna
ideally
use.
that's why the back, as long as you rotate it, as long as you don't under rotate it, it's going to be a lot. Not to say easy, but it's more feasible, I think, to pull off.
To that, for that point, you've seen Juzzy's video. Juzzy's team's video.
Yep.
He inwards that the set, but when he lands, it like bounces up, and he like does a mini manual.
Yes, but do you know why that happens? He bent his deck.
That's right.
Yeah, so he lands, he inwards this 20 stair, boom, catches it, and you see the catch. He throws it, he gets it around fast, like halfway down, boom, catches it. It's coming in hot. bang, just lands, deck bends, and then because the deck bends, it ends up going back up, and he pops into a manual, rides it out, holds on tight.
It was
So crazy too.
And that night we see a story from Juzzy like, hey, anybody got a Juzzy deck? And,
It's so funny.
you can't airship one. But anyway, it was not possible at that point.
I don't know, and they're hard to find too, because I think Mad Gear's obviously moved on to their 2019 range.
Yeah,
his deck was a 2018 Pro model, so I don't know if he has another one coming out or what. But I bet they'd be hard to find. So I think they were really banking on some kid seeing his story like, I'm gonna save the day.
Yeah.
That's actually what they needed.
So I don't actually know what happened. We have to ask him in person.
Yeah.
But so it was kind of crazy how people were breaking their bodies, but also destroying their scooters.
Yep.
Like scooters that are arguably
Now kids are like going to the park every single day with like a goal in mind, or I'm gonna learn this, or I'm gonna learn that, or what. Their favorite riders. A lot of them post almost every day, so you got like something new to inspire
Feed
you
you,
all
yeah.
the time. Yeah, and you're watching the sport evolve much quicker.
It was so much quicker, dude.
Dude, it's
crazy
some
how
crazy
much,
every day. Like,
Yeah.
you go on Instagram.
Basically,
more than something, dude. Usually
Fast
a
plan,
number of
front flip whip.
Oh,
Yep.
flat, yeah.
Flat.
And I was thinking
like-
about it. I do think that was the first one, because I think what Vincent did was a front flip 180 flat.
True.
don't
He also
think
did
he-
it with no shoes on in that one scooter farm video.
Yep.
What?
No shoes riding is like barefoot riding is totally underrated.
Dude, barefootage, barefootage, dude. Yeah, we were just trying to shout out Reece
I'm
Jones,
upset every
man.
time I watch it. I'm like, like you just cringe. Like it's horrible to watch the feet on the metal scooter.
I've done it a
like,
couple times. It
doing
actually
anyway.
helps.
I've
It
cruised.
helps,
I
dude.
bummed a hill once barefoot, which is extra scary because you
Oh,
can't drag
no.
your heel to slow down, and
Oh yeah, no.
if you fall, it's not going to be
And
fun.
the brake heats up.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a brake. But yeah.
That's kind of the thing that like when you're doing tricks on it though, it's like I kind of have to land it,
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're gonna break a toe, dude.
I remember watching
Shatter
that
your
Reece
foot.
Jones video, and it's
Oh,
called
man.
I thought it was called barefootage.
Bare
but
footage.
Cam yesterday, he's like, yo, have you
This
seen
guy's
that bare footage video? It's like, oh, that probably is what it was called.
No,
Yeah.
but it works both ways. That's what's so beautiful. about
Barefoot
it, dude.
age.
double
I'm
entendre.
assuming he meant for it to work both ways. Probably.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah,
if you watch it back,
dude,
like
three whipping over this like fat bump, dude. He's got like the double kink, dude.
yeah,
No
man.
shoes on. People can't even hit double kinks with shoes
You
on.
could drop
Yeah.
part. You could drop that part this
And
year
it would
with
be-
shoes on, and it would be fine.
Yeah, dude,
It'd be
with
totally
shoes on.
acceptable.
With shoes on, bro. Yeah, dude. Crazy.
Shout out to Reece Jones,
Yeah,
man. They're
big
Down
shout
at
out.
Syndicate, killing it.
Yeah, they're just crushing it. Shout out to the
Australians.
Australian boys,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
So what are you guys filming for right now? If anything.
I'm just currently filming for like apart from myself or maybe for something else. We'll see. But yeah, just kind of getting some footy out. Like been doing that all summer, so
Right,
it's been
and,
sick.
and you actually quit North not that long ago, right?
Yeah. I
And
think
Cam still rides for North.
Yes, sir.
Awkward.
No. It's not like that. It's not like that.
I'm just playing. It's all good. So this one's for you then. This one's obviously you're riding for QC, and you flow in Trinity, but this one's for you.
Yeah, this one's for me, but we'll see if it goes like to anything else. But
So are you
for-
taking your time a bit
Oh,
more
for
then?
sure.
Yeah.
Like all the other ones that I've made, it's kind of like, I don't know, like my first one, I've never made one before, so I just wanted to do like anything in the streets and get it out. But, but yeah, so like this one for sure is kind of like, I want to take time and make sure it's like quality.
Right.
For sure.
What about you, Cam?
I am like, I'm kind of filming. I'm not. If I don't film a single clip here, I wouldn't be too disappointed because I
Right.
have a full video pretty much done.
Oh, we're going right after this podcast to film a bunch.
Well,
of
we're gonna
things.
go.
Gotta
We're
get
gonna go to
ready.
spots. And don't get me wrong. It's not. I'm not saying I'm not.
You're
gonna film.
behind on
I'm
your
gonna try.
contract obligations.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying.
Give me that grip tape.
Yeah, dude. But no, I'm not saying I'm not going to film. I would love to film. I'm
Yeah,
always
yeah.
looking to film. I'm always constantly filming for something. Just right now, I have a video done.
Right.
I need to refilm technically two clips, but it's the same spot.
Right.
Back in Toronto. But I can do that. Hopefully it doesn't snow. By the
What
time I
clip?
get
What
back.
spot? I'm just
So,
kidding.
but I'm also looking to do some school projects. Might film a day in the life video for one of my classes, which will be pretty funny because you
a
don't
day
see
in
it-
your life?
No, I'll probably. Well, it can't be right because I gotta.
I hope not, because you'll
'cause-
be there with a selfie stick.
Yeah,
like, all right,
dude, what's up,
exactly
guys? right? Because
Just a vlog.
Because I can't film
It's
myself.
just a vlog, yeah.
Because I can't be in it myself. So it'll either be of Josh or of you or.
Ethan?
Well,
Ethan?
I could maybe do Ethan. I wouldn't be able to do that in Montreal though, because he's not here. But
Yeah,
he
fair.
usually doesn't like when I volunteer him to
Volunteer him.
to use him for projects, because like, man, I've done it so many times and he's just over it, dude. He's like every time I have like a new project and I need like an interesting model or an interesting subject, I'm like, damn, Ethan's pretty interesting, man. Like, but he's just over it. But he's
You know who
usually
would be
pretty
perfect?
cooperative.
Ethan.
Well, man, Ethan's an interesting dude.
He's an
Like,
interesting cat,
He's a
yeah.
very interesting guy. Like,
Yeah.
pro scoot rider, shreds, and he's just a very humble dude, smart guy.
Very talented
And
artistically.
the other thing
Yeah,
is,
I mean-
the other thing is, I'm shooting videos or photos, and usually it's like he can help me if I need assisting, which I usually don't. But like if I did need help or anything like that, like he also knows his stuff, so it's good. But yeah, I don't know. So maybe I'm filming for something else, depending on. You said there might be a.
Nah.
Yeah, no, I don't know, dude.
That's top secret.
That's tough. Yeah, so that's sort of what I'm filming for here.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple Insta clips, dude. A couple Insta bangers.
Get
Just
that cloud
post the
up.
bangers on
Yeah.
Instagram.
But yeah, I'm
that's it.
just here to have fun,
Just forget your part, break it up into 1-minute sections, and start posting it on Instagram.
great.
Just
Oh,
swipes.
dude, 100%.
Just
dude.
swipes.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be crazy if that actually happened. Like people just were over YouTube and just started posting their
Dude,
shit
well,
on Insta like
IGTV
that.
Yeah, I was
is
about
a
to say
thing,
some
but-
people
Yeah, I
some
guess-
people are
I guess
doing
so.
that. I don't know if I definitely don't like that. I personally kind of
I can't stand YouTube these days. So many freaking ads, and
yeah.
like they're always at the
Just get ad
peak.
blocker,
Like that,
dude.
the most hype part. It's like whatever targeted ad I get.
I hate when
about-
it's like multiple in the same. It's like stops your video to show you. It's one thing if it plays before.
Yep.
If it stops your video halfway, it's like, man. I have ad blocker, so I don't usually deal with it. And
I don't think I do either. But
oh, man.
some YouTubers will have the ads like right in the video.
that pisses me so off. Like, dude.
I have ad blocker.
Never heard that before.
and
It's pissed
some
me.
still get through.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
It's,
Did you hear what I just said?
That what you
That
say?
pisses me so off.
I am
Anyways.
so off right now.
Yeah, dude. I'm so pissed off.
So what's it been
So
like
off.
living with Ethan? So you guys are actually two professional scooter riders. You both are paid to ride. That's
Yes.
what professional means. Too many people in the industry are, I'm going pro, but
Yeah.
you guys are actually both pro. So living together, do you think it's helped? Or
100%.
Yeah, and what's that like?
What's it like to live with him?
Yeah, to be two professional scooter
Well,
riders living together.
There's two sides of the living with Ethan story. There's the, it's great because he's a professional scooter rider also. And
Right.
we've been riding together ever since first year and before first year. Well, before that, we've known each other even before, like, we went to post-secondary together. We played on the same hockey team when we were younger.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Did you guys get along back then, or it was just like, oh
Well,
fuck that guy?
We didn't, it wasn't like, oh, fuck that guy. But, like, we didn't, like, hang out consistently.
Right.
It was only when, because during the hockey days, I was, like, not riding as progressively. Like, I wasn't, like, going to the skate park every day. Like,
Yeah.
I was more interested in hockey and school and this and that. But then, over the years, we weren't on bad terms, though. Like, we just never would really hang out outside of hockey. Like,
Right.
we were friends and stuff, but we really became friends, like, after when I sort of stopped playing rep hockey, dropped down to house league, started playing with my brothers, just
Shout out to
because it was
house
just like,
league.
yeah, man, it's just way more fun. And
My
so I-
last year was house league. too.
yeah, dude. Well, it's
Oh, yeah.
more fun, dude. I think everybody's
Same.
last year should be
Yeah,
house
for
league.
sure.
It's always about fun, man. And rep is just stressful, unless you're trying to go to the NHL or something, which I definitely wasn't. But
Nah.
but
Wait,
yeah,
you never played hockey, right?
I played in phys ed classes.
little
yeah.
field hockey, little
That's cool. I
plastic
played
stick.
broom ball in Vizet.
No, we had the
On skates?
hockey kasam with the
skates?
ball. Yeah. But we
skates,
actually
really?
went out on skates
Oh, that's cool.
in
Damn,
in the
that is sick.
neighborhood. We
Alright.
had rinks out, and we would go and play.
That's actually
Yeah,
very cool.
very cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah! So we've all played hockey. Shout out being
Yeah,
Canadian.
no.
Woo.
Canada.
Sure.
Ooh.
I
But,
skate pretty good still.
yeah, dude. Oh, 100%. I still play all the time. Like,
I
love
haven't
hockey.
skated in 5 years, but I
Oh,
guarantee
dude.
I
Same.
could. I could.
Intramural champion at my school, bro. Me and Ethan, straight.
Man, I'm
winning
trying
out
to
here.
sign up with you guys. That shit
Dude,
looks
well,
fun.
we didn't actually play this year because it was like 2 towns over, and we don't have a car, which sucks.
That blows.
That's whatever,
Just
though.
scoot there.
What's your team
Facts
name?
with the
And
hockey
a
bag over his
A
shoulder.
Reddick snow scoot there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
What was your team name? Did you have a team
Oh, we
name?
did have a team name.
Ah,
We
okay.
were just the
How's
gray
it
team.
intramurals if you don't have a team name?
Yeah, you always need a
man.
team name.
We don't have a team. What? It was just the gray squad.
You were the Gray Grays.
squad. We were the gray team.
Gray shirt, gray squad.
Yeah.
But your
Fair
team
enough.
didn't have a name?
No,
like,
dude.
Altogether?
Team
What?
A, Team B, or something. There was only 4 teams, dude. The gray team, the navy blue team, the light blue team, and
Is
the
that
white
high
team.
All that
School
matters
team?
is you were champions.
We were the winners,
Champ.
dude, and that's the only thing that matters in life. Win, win, win. No, it was fun.
so,
But
so you guys played hockey together.
so we played hockey together.
Yep.
We still play now, but yeah, and then once I sort of quit the house league, I started going to the skate park like way more frequently.
Right.
And we sort of started to hang out outside of the skate park also, just because we rode together and we were better friends. But I remember there was this one day we were at Markham Skate Park, and we went across the street to the mall. We were with Christian Wichler. I don't know how many people know him, but we were there and we were talking about like what schools we applied to and everything. This was in grade 12, and we were talking about, oh, like, where did you apply? This and that. We were like, oh, like I applied to Sheridan for photography and film or whatever. And it's like, oh, no way, like same. And it's like, oh, dude, we should room together, haha. Just like completely joking, because we haven't like got any like acceptance letters or anything like that. Like it was just a theory, just a fan theory, dude. And then next thing you know, like we both were like, yo, like yeah, I got accepted. Did you? It's like, yo, let's actually fucking do this. Like, and then next thing you know, first year comes around, like we're fully living together, and it was insane because as proud as I am to ride a scooter, I feel like every scooter rider has like a little bit of a scarce when they're out in public, like, I don't know, worried about getting made fun of, this and that, especially like at that age in your life when you're going into post-secondary, like people are nervous about what people think of them.
And it's all new people too, right?
And that's the new thing. It's like new people, like in high school, it didn't really matter to me. Everybody knew I scootered, and I knew I scootered and I love it, and that's all that mattered. But going into a new environment and like you have to make new friends, isn't that, you don't want to be made fun of, and like a lot of people don't really consider scootering the coolest thing. So I was like a bit nervous, and having Ethan there was like the coolest thing ever, because it's just like, damn, like
it's not scooter, we
scooter. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. But it's sick, and I definitely can't complain because I always got a guy to film. Like, he's not stoked with that. Like, dude, it can be like because school happens during winter, so like we start school and it's like pretty much instantly fall. So it's like it's not riding, like it's not summer.
It's the end of riding.
You can still, it's the end of riding, but then, I don't know, I always got a weird itch. And there's like spots on my school and stuff. There have been a number of occasions where like, I'm like, yo, Ethan, let's go film. It's like -14 outside. Like,
yeah, he told me one time.
Yeah, dude. But whatever, man. He did it. I got the clip.
He told me one time his Cam was like, yo, let's go shovel out this spot. I'm going to half cab, or I'm going to full whip bar or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, so we shoveled out the spot, and he didn't fucking do it.
I mean, I tried it. Actually, I didn't try it. That's a lie.
Man.
But I got something else that I was stoked with, so I couldn't complain. He could, though. He was pissed. It was freezing cold. I was like, yo, let's go film.
So you and Ethan are...
There was like the scooter of the day, like all the crazy sections with the videos. Everybody was posting their own edits on YouTube.
Yep.
So that just completely changed my life, basically. I just started reading everything on that forum. And back then it was kind of doable. It took hours and hours, but it's what I would do when I got back from school. So I started watching, looking at everything, and I figured out there was ways that I could modify my scooter to make it stronger. So one of the most legendary videos in scootering is how to lock a folding mechanism by Brian Boston.
Yeah.
And I watched that video a bunch of times, and I was like, I thought this tutorial was like a professional tutorial, and like these people, but it's just like Brian in his basement by his computer, dim lighting, like it's just a super shady like operation, but at the end there's like bolts through it, and I'm like, why would you put bolts through it? So I looked it up, and I was like, it makes it stronger. So I'm like, I got to do that. So I picked up some bolts, locked my folding mechanism. Then I found out that you could put like rails on the side to like, not rails, but like square tubing. And if you put the right holes in it, you can reinforce your deck. And then I realized you could take an old piece of handlebar and put that inside the fork. And that would reinforce your fork. And I just... It became an engineering challenge to stay on a scooter, and that's what I really liked. I was like, okay, like I gotta build this. 50% of my riding depends on the prep. Depends on building the right piece of equipment that will be completely unique. So that was what was so drawing to me from to scootering, is that everybody had their unique ride. It was just so different, and I was like, that's what I want to do. So I kept getting inspired by the community online. And in the winter, so I'm from Quebec City, and the winters here are pretty brutal for any, like, compared to most places in the world. So we have like 4 or 5 month winters, and during those times I can't ride, obviously. So I'm like literally just going, just spending all my time on my computer checking out scooter things, or I'm going snowboarding or whatever. But the whole time I'm like missing my scooter. So I'm thinking about it all the time, and I started like realizing online and through my own riding that the parts that were on the scooter weren't designed to hold up.
No.
So I used to ride with one of my good friends, Emile Otis. He's a BMX rider, but he was the only other scooter rider in the area. But he didn't really ride much. He was just like he was able to pick up a scooter and do a tail whip.
Just goofing around.
Yeah, goofing around, and like he'd do 540s. It was actually pretty good. He was one of the first ones to flip a scooter in Canada.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, good for him.
But yeah, he used to flip on his bike as well. He still does.
Right.
But yeah, he was one of the first to do it up here. And we were just hanging out, and we started thinking about parts that could make our scooter stronger.
Right.
So I got out a pad, we started drawing, and we came up with a few ideas. And the first one that really stuck out was pegs.
And
So
at this point, what year is it?
that would be late 2007.
Okay, and so in 2007, and how old were you at this point?
I was 12 years old.
So you'd only been riding about a year and a bit now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you'd fallen completely head over heels. It was what you wanted to do, and now you were looking for ways to push the boundaries as much as you could.
Yeah, it was the first period of time where I wanted to scooter but couldn't.
Right.
So I just put that energy into scootering in the future.
Yep.
So I started drawing up parts, and I came up with a design for bar ends, pegs, forks, a deck. I drew a compression system. I drew like a bunch of different things.
Right.
And eventually, I looked at this with my friend and was like, yeah, the only part that really makes sense that we could do right now is the pegs.
Right.
And he was like, the reason is that I know a machinist that does BMX pegs in his backyard.
Right.
And I'm sure that he would love to make these.
Okay.
So I made a plan on SketchUp with all the right dimensions.
Google
SketchUp. And then I made one for Barnes as well. And I brought all that to this guy who was a machinist, David Lebrun. Shout out. And he was like, yeah, well, I guess it's just taking the pegs and making them smaller. So yeah, no problem. How many do you want?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I got $150. How many can you make?
And hold on, before I don't mean to cut you off, but there's $150. Where did that come from?
Oh, it was my Christmas money.
So you, at 12 years old, you took your Christmas money and decided to make and to our knowledge, the first ever freestyle scooter pegs.
It's the first freestyle scooter pegs.
So at 12 years old, Christmas money, shout out to Santa, time to go make some scooter pegs.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so with $150, how many were you able to make?
I made 15 pairs.
All right, cool.
So I'm there with my 15 pairs of pegs. And to me, the project wasn't about making money or selling them, really. It was just making parts for myself. And maybe I could share a few online with my friends that I was starting to make on Scooter Resource.
Right.
So then we got the pegs, and they worked actually pretty well. So I started taking some pictures and putting them online, and I was just like starting to get bombarded with messages.
And online, you mean Scooter Resource?
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
And just to clarify things a bit, like I was working with my friend Emile at the time, but last minute when it was time to put up the money and actually do this, he was like, I'm not so sure I'm interested anymore.
Right.
But if you want to do it, like, go for it, man. We have all the contacts. We did all the work. Like, if you want to try it out, try it out. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to try it out. Like, this is happening. So I made the pegs, and it took me about a year to sell all 15. I was selling them on MSN. I've set up a PayPal account that was linked to my student checking account. Like, I think it's legal.
You're 12.
Yeah, like it wasn't huge amounts, so it wasn't a huge deal. And then I would just ride my bike to the post office. When I would get an order, I'd get an order every couple weeks or so. And I'd get an email saying, like, you've got money. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's see it's in the order. So a pair of pegs, pair of bar ends, okay, going to this place in California or whatever.
Yep.
And then I would just like write the address by hand, make an invoice, pack it all together, staple it all together. It took way too long, but I was like, this is my moment. So I would package him up, put him in my backpack, and just ride my scooter to the post office, ship him out, pay for the shipping, and come back home. And that was all after school, obviously. But yeah, that was my fun, my version of having fun in the evening. So after kicker sessions, and basketball sessions, and,
of course,
and all that, and so yeah, as we continued, I don't know why I'm saying we, but because it was literally just me.
So at this point, Emil was like, "Well, this is cool. Good luck. I'm gonna dip on out," and you continue the journey. And at what point did it go from 12-year-old Lloyd Bureau to QC Scooters or Quebec Scooters, and like how did that name come about?
We had been brainstorming names. Funny enough, the two names we were brainstorming for were North Scooters.
Shout out to North.
And it took another 10 years before that name came back up again.
More than that, actually, I think.
But yeah, so it wasn't 10 years, probably anyway, almost 10 years.
Well, if you're 12, it's like, they only came out maybe 4 or 5 years ago, North. So yeah, about 10 years.
Yeah. 8 years or so.
Yeah.
And the other one was Quebec Scooters. So I eventually settled for Quebec Scooters because I thought it was more like, I like the name better.
Quebec.
I thought, yeah, so we picked that name. We had a logo that one of Emil's friends, I don't even know that guy. Like, if somebody knows who made our first logo, please like put me in touch so I can thank him.
Yeah. We still have to get that tattooed as well.
We'll see about that. I don't have any tats, so
I'll get it for you.
It's a bit, yeah, it's a bit tough to break the ice. I know once you get one, you're addicted, and you start covering your body with them and emptying your savings. So I was trying to steer clear of that for as long as I have thought about it though. It's kind of like a Superman logo, if you guys remember it. But yeah, so got the logo, and then when so it was always Quebec Scooters from the beginning,
right?
But then I started realizing people really liked the pegs.
Right.
So I sold out of the first batch. I made another batch, and I sold out of that, and then.
And how long did the second batch take? You said the first batch
took about a year.
About a year, right?
Second batch probably took like 2 or 3 months. It wasn't very long. And
you
then
were getting better at this, obviously, so you're getting accustomed to all the
everything,
shipping methods.
Yeah, shipping. It's I was getting accustomed to all the processes.
Right.
And managing the PayPal and all that. So I realized that PayPal had what you called like HTML buttons. So it would basically, you could create a button that would be related to a product and an amount of money.
Right.
And then you would copy that code into a website, and then that little button would appear, and it would just be perfectly linked. And I was like, this is amazing. Probably because back then it was Elon Musk managing PayPal, so everything was like
smooth,
fantastic.
Right.
Not so much right now, but that's a conversation for another time. And I realized like I was starting to get a lot of requests for a website. And I was like, I don't know how to make a website. I'm barely 13 years old.
Right.
So then I actually eventually did turn 13. And we put I got together with one of my friends from high school who was a couple years older, who knew how to code.
Yep.
He knew how to code CSS, HTML, and Flash. And so he was like, yeah, but to start, I can't do the whole thing. I can help you make sure it works well. But here's a website for you to teach yourself HTML first.
Right.
Like, you got to do that first. So I was like, oh God. Okay, I guess I'm going to learn to code. So 30-year-old Lloyd is in the basement learning to code. Yep. And I finally managed to put a page together where I could put my HTML buttons. And I'm like, the page works, but now I need a menu. And the menu was made with Flash. So my friend helped me put everything together, gave him $50. And then I was like, oh, now I have to host it. But I didn't have any money. So, because all the money was in pegs.
Right. So you had reinvested all the money of the first batch into the second
Yeah,
batch.
I was always just putting all the money back in.
Right.
And then I went up to my dad. I was like, Dad, my website is ready. I can't host it. It's $150 to host it. My birthday was had gone by not too long ago, and actually no, that's not why. My dad just like gave me a little bit of startup funds to
A
buy
small
the website.
loan of $1 million.
A small loan of actually a small gift of $150,
Right.
To put up the website. And
Yeah.
October 31st, 2008, QCScooters.com
Was
is
born.
open for business.
Right.
And then I went to Halloween.
It needs to be like about what's happening inside of you while you do that, because
Right.
that's what you're gonna feel when it happens. And then the more you can recreate that feeling of either it's euphoria or kind of excitement, then that's when you learn how. You know that feeling
The
that
more
you felt
familiar you become with
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That feeling that you felt before. If you can sit back and think about how you felt and bring that back onto you, and then learn how to control it,
Yeah.
then once it happens to you, you're more calm. You've seen it before.
Yeah, I mean-
it's practice. It's literally like practice.
When we're out riding with riders and they're trying a trick, I sometimes have the tendency to say see it in your head, but what I should be saying is feel it in your head.
Yeah,
feel it in
absolutely.
your body, feel it
Yeah.
in your mind before you do it. Imagine how your feet are gonna feel, how
Yeah.
it's gonna sound, all those little things. And I think you touched on a really good point there.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
I'll change my verbiage on
It's
that.
a great way, like feeling it more than seeing it it's always how to do it. I think.
At the same time, if you're not feeling it, you probably shouldn't be trying.
Well,
Exactly.
that's also ultimately why I didn't end up jumping on that day. I was
Yeah.
like, something's telling me that this is not going to work,
actually-
and it's never ever happened before, and it hasn't happened since. And usually, once you've gotten at least on or committed to it the first time, it's like the fear of the unknown is just gone. But getting over that first initial hurdle, especially for us sometimes, especially like when you don't know exactly how it's going to go, or anything that's big enough that every single attempt is you're risking injury.
Yeah.
That's where it gets scary, but it's also where it can get kind of fun. I've had other times where I've done some bigger stuff, and you've got so much adrenaline going that you end up slamming and slamming and slamming. But once that first one is out of the way and you've started committing to it, now it's real, now it's attainable. Now it's go. So, I wanted to know how, I guess we can't talk too much about now, but in the past, what's some of the biggest injuries you've played through in football? Because I fractured my foot at one time, and then 3 tries after I had fractured it, I ended up getting what I was trying.
Ooh,
And then
it was fractured at that time.
Yeah, I had a fracture in my foot, just didn't know. Got in the car, we're leaving. I was with Marcus, and all of a sudden my foot, I looked down and it's just like my shoe was bigger. And then the next day we went to the hospital, I had a fracture in my foot.
That's flow state.
But I had attained it and I was in it, and there's not like as long as I was still up, I was going to keep going, and then sweet, we got it, cool, and then we're in the car maybe 20 minutes later when this is all worn off, and all of a sudden my foot's doing
it's
this,
throbbing,
and my shoe's tight. I was like, we might have a problem here. So what's it been like trying to play through things like that, and does that really mess with your flow state at all?
Well, you touched about it, like flow state. To me, football brings me into flow state very quickly because I'm so passionate about it that it's kind of like automatic once I'm into the game. There's not a lot of things that will bother me. It's more like after. But I want to say the biggest injury has been my shoulder. My third year at Western, I think third game of the season, I completely dislocated it, and it kind of fully tore my labrum. And for the rest of the season, it kept coming out. It kept coming out at night. Every morning I'd wake up and my shoulder would be out. I'd have to put it back in. And that was the hardest part, and it was kind of hard to get into flow state, especially in like practices and stuff like that, where
Because you're worrying about that.
and it was hurting. Like all my muscles were tight, so before to get warm and to a point where like, okay, now I'm really focused, and that was kind of a big challenge for me, and especially like in a game. Let's say I would step out, like once I'm on the field, I don't feel it. It's when I step out on the sideline and then the offense is on, and then they have a long drive, and then I have time to like cool down and start thinking about, oh my god, like it's bad right now, know. But
You don't feel it while you have the adrenaline, but wouldn't it be great if we could just create adrenaline on command, or control our mind?
Some people are trying to tap into that. If you look at Wim Hof, I know you're a big fan of Wim Hof. That's what he's kind of preaching is through breathing and cold exposure. He wants to. He claims that you're able to spike your adrenaline at will a little bit. And yeah, it would be pretty amazing, but I think it would take a lot of practice and kind of like mind training before you're able to do that.
Maybe that's how the Jedis do it.
Maybe. I wish I could be a Jedi. That'd be
That's
awesome.
got to be it.
Yeah.
Did you? I think you dislocated your elbow as well at one point, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly. So
yeah.
you've played games with a
Oh,
dislocated
that was so
elbow.
bad.
That was the first our first year at Western. Lloyd was playing with us. I kind of dove to make a tackle, missed it, put my arm in front of me to catch myself, and my elbow just kind of bent backward.
Like up, like hyperextended.
No, it came down, so like my forearm kind of popped
Oh,
down like
okay.
that.
Yep.
That was extremely painful. I didn't play with my elbow dislocated. Like once that happened, like I was on the ground kind of yelling, like I knew something was off. I didn't even know what it was. I just knew I had
Something was
crazy pain in my arm. They popped it back in place on the field, and they just gave me a bunch of like painkillers, and I relaxed for a few. I think I missed 2 or 3 weeks, and then they brought
give you
a
a
brace.
brace
Yeah, they brought a big brace that would kind of. They claimed they would keep my elbow in place. All it did was that it wouldn't come out as much, so it kind of like pop out a little bit, and then it would snap it back into place. That was horrible. I played maybe like 4 or 5 games with that, but it wasn't very sustainable.
I remember the original injury. You were like lying on the ground, and the trainer came over to kind of lift your arm, and just the forearm lifted.
Yeah.
It was just like there was nothing
connection?
connecting it. It was gross.
Yeah.
Like you could tell there was something really wrong.
It wasn't very fun.
The fact that you were playing 3 weeks later,
Yeah.
that's a testament to character right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I had blind trust into our physios, and they were like, "Listen, like with that brace, you're gonna feel fine." I was like, "Okay, let's try this."
And for you, it didn't matter as long as you got the go. It was go.
Yeah. I guess once I knew that, hey, you know what, this brace is like it's protecting it from getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's as painful as it's gonna get. Can I deal with that? Yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. So it's always what it's been. And now the more that was, I guess, a little bit young and immature and not the smartest thing to do. As I've grown into a player, I realized that there's some stuff that you need to take seriously. Like my foot right now, like the specialist told me, like don't come back too early. This could haunt you for a while.
Like we were talking about earlier, you're basically a business, and if you're out of business, then you're out of business.
Exactly.
You need to see the long term view with your body.
And the depreciation on your body is,
Yeah.
you see it's like any other inventor, you know, it gets bad at some point. We all grow old. So you're doing your best to kind of hold that off a little bit and kind of make it last a little bit longer. And it's good to have great models. Like we have guys on the team that are 36, 37-year-old. And like, how are you still playing this game? Like I'm 25 and I'm hurting, and I'm like all
What
my
do you
body
think makes the
aches.
difference between these guys?
I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, if I knew right now,
You've been around them in the locker room, like you
Yep.
see a bit of their routines. You've exchanged with them, played with them on the field.
One thing I've seen is they're extremely positive. I see guys like John Bowman is a good example. Martin Bédard, who's also a player on our team, is a good example. These guys are always like happy to be there, and they're always like enjoying the process, I guess. But it's more than just the process. It's like they're enjoying being there, doing that with their lives, and they're trying to stretch that as much as they can, I guess. And no, it's been very inspiring to watch these guys go. Sometimes I feel like I'm down or my body hurts or something, and then I see a guy like John Bowman that's 37 years old and he's jumping over dudes and falling on his head and getting right back up, and that to me is crazy. And I'm just trying to model and trying to take as much as I can from these guys, but still haven't figured out the key.